to be on guard. Meanwhile, closer to home, it's remnants of Imelda that are bringing that threat for intense rain to parts of Florida. Rounds of thunderstorms, along with strong gusty winds, super soaking the state. You can see it right there on the Daytona Beach. Now, this is leading to the chance for some flash flooding and creating some dangerous beach conditions. Fox Weather Correspondent Brandy Campbell live for us in Daytona Beach this morning, monitoring how things look. And Brandy, I know that we are just a few minutes past the high tide cycle, so things behind you getting active.
Yeah, Michael, and I'm afraid to turn my back to the ocean because we never should, right? Because as you mentioned, high tide is happening. We're standing at basically the main entrance here for Daytona Beach, and from time to time the water comes completely past this entrance. But yeah, we're taking a look at the ocean. You can see it's beautiful as the sun is starting to come up, and you can also see with more clarity than the last hour just how choppy it is out there and white capped. This day we are still going to be dealing with those high rip current risks that continue through Tuesday. We also have high surf advisories in place also through Tuesday. 5 to 7 foot waves out there, so hopefully we don't see anybody out there on the beach, because I'm sure this is going to be another red flag day on Daytona Beach. In addition to that, we got the wind that we've been feeling out here, that onshore breeze. Now I want to show you guys what things looked like yesterday here in Daytona, as we got some rain as expected. Now it wasn't a lot, less than an inch, but still impactful. This as we just continue to deal with that tropical moisture from a front left behind from Hurricane Imelda. Given that rainfall, we do have a flood watch in effect through Monday with 3 to 5 inches of rain still likely to fall. And then in addition to that, given the wind blowing onshore and the above normal high tides we're going to be dealing with, we have a coastal flood advisory that is in effect through Tuesday for much of Florida's east coast through Sunday. Now, yesterday I drove around, I saw some of the flooding that was happening because of the high tide, and I visited one business. They're dealing with that issue from the high tides, but also on Thursday we also got nearly 2.5 inches of rain. And given the rain and high tide, water was coming up the door. They tried to block it. Water was coming in. Take a listen to what they had to say about that experience.
Was seeping in around the edges of our blockage that we had there. It was coming in and flooding the area. So for that morning, I was working in my bare feet just because it was wet in here.
It's something we unfortunately have had to get used to. It's a pain in the butt, but our customers come in and we appreciate them, even if they have to wade through a few inches of water.
All right, and we have more video showing some of the tidal flooding that occurred late last night. This video actually was taken about 2 hours before the peak of high tide and before we even had any rain. So just shows how impactful the high tide, especially as we go into king tide, can be without any rain. But once you throw that in, it makes things even worse. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that, especially going into the next couple of days up and down the East Coast. I know we've been talking about it. The Carolinas going down to Miami, where I live. But again, for now, if you guys are planning to head out to the beach again up and down the east coast of Florida, you want to beware, because ocean conditions not the best out there. And if you must go out, just make sure you are near a lifeguard. But regardless, it's going to be kind of dreary and rainy outside, so I doubt we'll see many people on the beach. I didn't see a lot of folks out here yesterday, so we'll see, guys.
Yeah, not the best beach conditions, Brandy, that's for sure. Sunrise, by the way, not until about 7:20, so we'll give it the next 12 minutes or so where you're at. Brandy, thank you so much for that report. We really appreciate that, and of course, we'll follow up with you in the next little bit.